So chat, time for an esoteric discussion. I don't know why I went to 7 when I clicked on 3, but sure. Snowball. Snowball. Is Snowball an actual problem? Alright, that should make the green screen work a little bit better. Let's try that again. Welcome back, everyone. It's Friday night, start of another streaming weekend with some caveats. We'll get to that later, but we're jumping in, and of course we're going to be starting with some Phobies, so let's get to it. Hope everybody out there in chat is doing well. We're going to start with something a little different tonight. Hey, Rockswan DT, what's good? Welcome, welcome. Rodizio. So we're starting off with a highlight. Sgrunkly, welcome back, welcome back. So we're starting out with a highlight. This is actually one of Rodizio's highlights. If you want to get your highlights, you want to get your name up in lights, these are a little bit different than the game breakdowns because they tend to stay in the stream itself. And I do make an effort to try and break them out as like YouTube shorts. I'm not on TikTok, but essentially TikToks. But it's intended to be like, well, what was a cool turn? What was a cool play as opposed to breaking down the whole game? And we're going to look at Rodizio's, and the notes are, because your Phobies are bigger, my little ones don't kill them. So it's 14 and 15. Turns 14 and 15. So we're going to watch this and see what we can find. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. I like jumping in with a highlight. I'm trying a little different. Get a little boopage from the repeller here. Oh boy. This looks nasty. I mean, you could break... Oop. I imagine we're going to see a whole bunch of Phobie deaths here, but what has Rodizio got in the bag? Alright, obviously one shot. Oh, are we going to get... Oh, baby. We'll rewind to look at this. You gotta love some boops. You gotta love some boops. Alright, here we are. We're looking at a highlight from Rodizio, and we're on Xylo, and I think you can tell by the tone of my voice exactly what we're going to see. Now, we're looking at the bad guy turn first. The bad guy turn is relevant to the highlight because of this play. Notice how Crushmore elected to get up in there. Despite the spider, despite all the other stuff, I have bad news for you, bad guy. We're obviously going to get the takedown here. We're obviously going to get this one shot onto the repeller. Ray Chargel's just ready to go. I don't know what bad guy was thinking there, but sure. Here's the cool part, though. Yoink! Boop. Bye-bye, Crushmore. You love to see it. Well done. Well done. I lost anyway. I mean, that happens. I could tell from the notes that it was probably in a losing effort, but that's still pretty cool. I love some good boops. I love some good boops. I didn't have any response for a level 14 beauty. I could see that. No, we didn't get into him yet, dogewhal. We didn't get into him yet. We'll jump into arena and then probably start doing reviews. So, as you can probably tell from the stream title, I may or may not be streaming tomorrow. Odds are I am not. There's a chance that I will. I'll be back on Sunday, barring something happening. But I likely won't be streaming. I do have some things that I want to try and get modified for the stream. Namely, I want to maybe make a single day the review day. Namely Sundays. The reason for that is Sundays get kind of weird for playing games anyway. It's often like, oh, I'll jump into Arena. I can't really play because everybody's just throwing games to try and meet their game total, which is fine, but that's not really worth streaming, you know what I mean? So if I make that the review day, then I can cluster all the reviews. I can release a, like a review video, and people will more regularly expect when that's going to happen. Now, the thing about it is I had avoided it in the past because I liked interspersing them. I have some ideas on what I'm going to do, interspersing it in between games. I'm not saying that I'm never going to do replays other nights, but chat, let me know either here in Discord, YouTube, when you see this, let me know down in the comments or hit up the Discord in the description. I'm not quite sure exactly what is causing the decline in YouTube viewership. I have grown on Twitch viewers, so shout out to everybody that came from YouTube over to Twitch. And I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, do I need to structure the content differently? Do I need to present different content? So let me know if you feel that the quality has been worse, or you just don't like what I'm doing, or you're just skipping YouTube in lieu of the Twitch VODs. I leave the Twitch VODs up right now because it makes my life easier. 1. 2, I don't want to deny people from seeing them, especially since I'm behind in uploading stream recaps, which is just going to happen because as I produce other stuff, if the day is taken up by, a high-level gameplay breakdown, a Fright Night thing, a news flash, whatever, that means that the stream stuff gets pushed out. So I'm trying to figure out other ways to produce stuff and how people, what they want to see, that sort of thing, because I do want to keep growing. It's important for the stream, it's important for YouTube, but I'm not sure exactly whether I'm doing something wrong, people's tastes have changed. I don't feel it's like Phobies is dying or something like that, but, quality's not worse, but most of the YouTube is repeated Twitch viewers. Well, that's the thing, is I mentioned it in Discord, but I don't know if there's a good way to track the views on the VODs unless I, manually do it. Point being is that, if you were to add the views from the VOD together with the views on YouTube, we're probably about where things were. But I don't know if that's the sole answer. You know what I mean? Plus, I need the followers on YouTube. The views obviously help. There's a variety of different metrics you have to hit on YouTube. That's why. So, pretty sure I haven't watched a single YouTube video in so long because I watch them on Twitch. It's very small, the videos I can rewatch. That's fair, Sgrunkly. I don't expect anybody to rewatch it. If you do, thank you. But I don't expect anyone. Unless I miss something, I don't watch VODs. But I do watch 80% of videos when I have time, even if they were on Twitch. Fair. Well, I appreciate that, Bozo. I mean, I don't expect anybody to double dip on these things. I wouldn't do it if I was in people's, the viewer's position. So it's just, I'm musing idly kind of thing. I'm not, doom and glooming this. I'm honestly, speaking out loud, trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do differently? Do I need to do something differently? Because the numbers on YouTube comparatively, view-wise, have been sagging, especially, when Phobies first launched, that's when you're going to get, it's the biggest influx of people, and naturally some people are going to fall off due to attrition. They don't really click with the game, they don't have the time investment, new shiny thing has come along, real life interferes, whatever. So, with less people interested in Phobies, there's less people watching the videos. But we were stable for a while, and then it's it's been dropping off. You watch it on both Rocks on? Well, appreciated. Much appreciated. Get a little hydrate action. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. I do want to keep growing on YouTube. The discovery is the big thing for YouTube, is that it allows me to reach people to then come to the stream. But the problem is if the YouTube videos do poorly, they don't get pushed to as many people, therefore bringing in less people to the stream. So it's kind of you have to keep both in balance. But we'll touch on that and a variety of other things, because I have some Phobies, like, strategy talk that I want to mix in, and we'll see how tonight goes. I'm not sure whether we're going to play a ton of games or do a bunch of reviews or what. We'll play it by ear. But the reason that I brought up this screen is because we did get our map rotation. We have Red Rum, we have Rush Hour. I legitimately forgot what Rush Hour was until I looked at the map and zoned in an async game. I remember thinking this map was pretty good for a while and then starting to fall into, okay, this is a real both yoink heavy map and then a attrition based map, like trading one drops back and forth, but we'll see. Red Rum I have a very negative history with, so we'll also see how that one works out. I got Klepto, Muffin, Creep, and Honey Bear all in a row. That's uncommon luck hits different. Those are pretty good. Those are some pretty good unlocks there, dogewhal. Well, speaking of Rush Hour, we're zoning in. So chat, my wife trimmed my beard. She trimmed the beard. She wants to chop it down much, much further. But she trimmed it a little bit because it was pretty scraggly. I think she did a pretty good job. So this will do 533, 7, 8. I actually like the Snowball opener here. I don't think there's any way to punish it. Hey, Luffy, welcome back. Welcome back. Speaking of which, how is your back? I hope you're doing better. I don't know. I'm not really sure what we need to do on this map. This is the first time since the rotation that I'm on it, other than starting a couple async games on it. It's a versatile map. I don't really remember. Like, the comments I made earlier were basically it. I don't know if that is how the map works, or it's just how I remember how the map works. Because my collection, and obviously my skill level, my experience, is vastly different than from when it was. And that's the thing about this map rotation, is that by the time a given map rotates out and then rotates back in, just about everybody who played on it the first time is going to have a wildly different experience the second time, because just quite simply, you're going to have a different collection. You'll probably have played a bunch of different games. You know, you're coming at it with a new set of eyes, which I think is really cool. What's not so cool is the Grim Reaper here. You seen everything on this map, including Sasquatch? I know it's slight exaggeration, slight hyperbole. I think the pull and push map is similar, but with more walls. Pull and push map. What, like Xylo? The one your highlight was on, Rodizio? This map feels a lot like Exponential Decay, just without Abyss tiles. And I think Exponential Decay is better for having said Abyss tiles. See, the problem here is that they can kill the Contortio basically no matter what. And it's going to be safe, too. Can't go there. They banked to 6. I don't fear the Grimes too much, but we do need to give it a healthy amount of respect. If you take any points with Contortio, that's a free kill for Grimes. Exactly, dogewhal. I'm taking that risk. Except like top point, yeah. Could get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Contortio could have gone up here. I'm planning on killing the Grimes. They have to body block with this if they're not gonna let it die. Nobody knows the map I'm talking about? No, I'm not sure, Rodizio. We can look at it after this game and see if we can figure it out. Which color palette? Is it like is it red and orange like this, or is it the more teal colored ones, or is it like exponential decay where it's a lot of browns? We actually might not know. We can't kill this. Oh my god. What level is this Grimes? It's only a level 6 and has 1800 health? It's not in rotation? Okay. Yeah, I should have gone to the top. For some reason in my head, I was thinking, no, because it was here, right? We went 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah, we could have gone to the top. We could have gone top safely. All this did was get it killed. This will also result in another kill for Grimes. So, 3, so that's 4, 11, 5 is 16. That, it possibly dies. Like, this Grimes is actually an issue now. Legitimately a problem. You can go here. 7. Nothing is safe with this Grimes, like, where it's positioned. We have to actually remove it, and quickly. I mean, even more so than usual. Phobie? Yeah, that one has like, with the weird choke points, like top choke point, center choke point, horizontally, and bottom choke point. Does Ginseng die, though? I think it does. I was rounding up, but it's like 700 here, plus basically 400. Oh, does this still die? Oh, this is still in range. This is still in range. I didn't want to move it up, but they may not do it because, like, I think they had the damage. This is 533 plus 7 is 12 plus 4 is 16. They actually should be short. Actually should be short, so I would have been better off at the first play. Let me guess, someone took center with Snowball? How did you know, Hakune? How did you know? Honestly, it just... We'll talk about this after the game, chat, but is Snowball a problem? Like, is Snowball actually problematic? I think that map Phobie is more like to trade 1 keys and pull punch less versatile. Yeah, getting a solid yoink because of the choke points is tough. I haven't played this map and I don't know what to do here. I'm trying to remember. We were talking about this earlier, Honda. I don't know. Today I won Snowball. Snowball is too much of a good boy, too much good boy energy. Phobie is ironically the worst map to use Minotaur in, despite it looking like a maze. It's a good point, Rock Swan. Give Snowball a game cooldown like ability cooldowns on spawn. No one can Snowball turn 1, or at least player 1 can't. What, like, they can't Fireball? Is that what we're talking about? They banked at 12. I just realized that's a little concerning. No, like you can't spawn the unit in. Oh, I see what you're saying, Luffy. Snowball would be a problem if there wasn't stress reward, aka guaranteed. That's for sure, DT, but I wonder if it is problematic, because if this were, and I'll get into this after the game, but if this were a card game, most people would be absolutely losing their mind over things like Snowball, because it's a staple. It shows up every time. But Phobies is different. It's supposed to be like chess, right? So, yeah, you're going to see the same pieces most, if not all, of the time. I think less people would have Snowball if it was from packs. Absolutely. Unbearable might back up to avoid Henrietta. I doubt that. The Henrietta poison is mostly irrelevant. I mean, I'll take it, but, like, the Henrietta poison is, like, worthless. So they can't leave the Grimes there unless they want it to die. I mean, that's exactly the problem. If less people had Snowball, if it wasn't as universal, it would cause more issues. Think of the plebs that don't have Stabby. Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, it's a problem, because Stabby's real good, and it... Am I winning? No. We also haven't talked about the Disney card game yet, Otona. I'm sure that will come up. Opponent still banked at 12. I mean, I'm concerned. They could get our Murder Wing here mostly for free. Still don't have Cassowary? I thought Cassowary was part of the initial batch. Up. Who says you need Grimes? Our opponent was clearly banking intentionally. It's not like they weren't there. And they thought about it. I think they just missed that the Innocuous had 3 range. I think that's the bottom line. I don't think they can revenge kill anything except the Cassowary, so I'd say Cassowary for Grimes, Tasty swap. Yeah, they don't have enough damage without the Grimes in order to kill the Jin Sting with a Yoink, because they wouldn't be able to get the positioning they need. Like, there isn't enough surface area. Can't play without Grimes. I think they were probably fine. It's just, that was a really bad position. I could absolutely understand tilting off the face of the earth. So, chat, time for an esoteric discussion. I don't know why I went to 7 when I clicked on 3, but sure. Snowball. Snowball. Is Snowball an actual problem? I was mentioning this during the game. Phobies is not a card game. It bills itself as a card game, but it's not a card game. Yes, you get cards from packs, but, like, you don't play cards on the board. You're playing a tactics game. You're playing a miniatures game. You're playing a war game. It's not a card game. So, why does that matter? Well, in card games, one of the common things that people complain about is net decking. They complain about staples. They complain about the lack of variety in the decks. Like, deck diversity is important because otherwise people get, most people, not myself, because I prefer more static metagames, kind of like Phobies, where, you know what the things are. And so there are people that enjoy that, but most people who play card games want frequent set releases, whether they believe it or not. They want the treadmill to continue acquiring cards, and they want the deck diversity so that they can show up to an event and it's not, I'm playing deck A 9 out of 10 rounds and then random other thing. The difference with Phobies is the fact that some Phobies are so ubiquitous, whether they're pack unlocks, they're stress unlocks, or whatever. It basically, almost lines up exactly with what happens in card games, because in card games, if something was a staple and showing up in every deck, every time, all day, day in and day out, people would be losing their minds and be asking for a ban, because odds are it's probably too good, or they would be complaining because they're sick of that card showing up. And that's where new sets come in, rotations come in, bans come in, errata, whatever. And we're talking digital or physical. The reason I compare it to Snowball is Snowball a problem? Should Snowball be changed, nerfed, or otherwise? Because Snowball, and it came up in the game that I just played because the opener was Snowball take the middle point. If somebody has a Snowball and the other player doesn't, it's an enormous gap. And yes, everybody will unlock it, but that is, and maybe that's how the game is designed, that the developers assume that, okay, well, anybody who's into the game, willing to put in the time, as compared to hitting like stress level 150. We're talking hitting the stress level for Snowball. An investment, but not an absurd one, comparatively anyway. Maybe the game is designed around everybody having Snowball, and that's probably fine. That's probably fine. But I'm curious what people's thoughts are. Like, is it problematic that Snowball shows up so much? I'm checking chat real quick, because I know there were a bunch of comments. I just kind of wanted to get that out. Snowball is strictly frustrating and unfun to be in the game. No turn, cooldown, and going first advantage. The problem is the scenario, like, is the game worse if Snowball doesn't exist? Like, yes, even if we assume that Snowball is bad. First of all, it's a good boy. But let's say Snowball is bad. Is the game worse if Snowball doesn't exist? You can no longer punish the invades as hard, like somebody really encroaching on your vault. The games will absolutely be slower because you can't just jump out to that early advantage and have this mobility around the board. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it more. This really just came up a few minutes ago, so I'm curious what everybody's thinking. Stress level 10, the games you access to the first AoE Phobie. Level 20 gives us access to have a healer. 30 gives you access to a pole. Level 40 gives you access to 3-tile move Phobie if we have no luck getting same kind of Phobie from packs. Yes, but what if Snowball didn't have its ranged ability? Or Luffy had suggested earlier, what if Snowball literally couldn't be spawned on the first turn? There are ways to tweak Snowball. I'm not saying eliminate it and delete it from the game, but would the game be better if Snowball was not 3 moves? Would the game be better if Snowball didn't have a ranged ability? Would the game be better if Snowball was X, Y, or Z instead of what it is today? I don't know. The dark days of finding out the hard way my opponent was level 40 and I wasn't? Yep. Also the cheapest range AoE and cheapest pull? Yes. Not having Snowball when your opponent does is like not having Jar? Yeah, it's a huge, huge disadvantage. Even an under-leveled Snowball, compared to what's going on, can make a drastic, or have a drastic impact. You haven't used Snowball much recently? Really, DT? I think Snowball is not a problem, but it's very good. It's true. It's definitely good. If Snowball doesn't exist and we'd only have three movement Phobies, is that problematic? Like, because that's a reasonable question, dogewhal. Should, and this kind of dovetails from the Snowball discussion, should 3 move Phobies only cost 6 or more? There's 5 other 3 movements, are there? I don't know them. They always sleep on Morty. Okay, so yes, Morty, but Jar and Snow are the only 5 reach from Vault. Yes, that is true. Well, technically, no, because Chuck only gets 4 because of the single move, yeah. I think people wanted more 3-range Phobies than we got a Tractor, and everyone went, not like that. I mean, yes. I didn't think, like, so real talk. 3-range Phobies, 3-move Phobies are super hyper dangerous. Like, the mobility alone might be worth it. You tack on the Fireball, and you'd have to change the stats if you got rid of the Fireball, because the base attack is anemic, it's not all that healthy, etc. But, like, this is a more mobile Murder Wing, and Murder Wing has flying. Like, 3-move is super dangerous. There's a big gap between Droney and Snowball. One more key, and Snowball's better in every way except not being flying. Yeah, I don't think they're even in the same ballpark, dogewhal. I agree. But 3 moves is a huge, huge, huge advantage. We have so many games when player 1 don't play Snowball. So here's the thing. We do. But how many of those are 1? Like, and even if they lose, like the player who plays Snowball loses, or the player who doesn't play Snowball wins. Yeah, it's not really like that much of a disparity on HP. This is 1 level, and it has 14 HP. But the question is, like, are people using it properly? That's the thing about very common phobies, common being their usage, not their rarity. They're going to trend towards 50%, because what happens is people who are not very good at the game, including myself, are going to say, hey, Alien Engineer is using this, Akune is using this, Gamer24x7 is using this, A-Trend's using this, pick arbitrary player at the top of the ladder. And then it goes, I can't get it to work, this thing is crap, how do they do it? They're so lucky, they must just be higher level, it's got to be whatever. You know, like, when it's really just the player using it inappropriately or just poorly. I don't know, it's interesting. I don't personally have a problem with it. That's why I'm posing the question to people, because I'm curious how people feel about it. And like I said, you know, the usual, I'm hashtag sponsored, I am part of the content affiliate program. I don't have any influence on balance or anything like that, but like, not that I have any influence on anything, but I think it's an interesting discussion to have. Should Phobies like Snowball, like Stabby, like Jar, like Murderwing, these things that are clearly staples, and that may come up in a later conversation tonight, should they be changed or nerfed just because they're that ubiquitous? I'm inclined to say no, but I'm curious. It's funny that people forgot about Stabby to address these new unfun threats. Like what? Like Stabby is an answer to a tractor? I'm not sure which thing you're talking about, Luffy. And by the way, Akune, I did see your comment earlier. I was just wanted to finish this up. We'll come back to it. Anyway, Snowball stats are clearly designed around Jar and Wing. Exactly. And that's why I think that's another reason that changing these things could be really bad. Because if you nerf the damage for Snowball, let's say, and then it can't get at Jar. Okay, well now Jar is much more sturdy. And we're back to the days of, well, why even have Snowball to a degree, as far as Jar is concerned. So that changes the relationship between a lot of things. In the Pokemon card game, they made it so supporters could only be used for player 2 because player 1 supporter was too good. I could see them changing the time it takes to use Snowball's ability. Taking out Snowball would make the game worse. I can see that, Savadas. That would kind of goes to like Luffy's suggestion that like player 1 can't spawn certain phobies. And I could see that as a keyword. Like we have stasis, we have flying, we have traps, we have resurrect, we have different abilities. What if there was an ability that literally said, you know, like sluggish, like the snoozles, whatever, you know, call it something funny, and then that means that this phobie can't be spawned by player 1 on turn 1, or either player on turn 1. I don't know. The aliens are way more toxic than Stabby. I could see an argument for both. Please put 5 phobies which combined make Exodia. Well, you saw it. Like, somebody had suggested that. Somebody from stream, I think, suggested that a while back, like, combining phobies. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that materialized, but it would be a balancing nightmare. I don't think they have to be changed, because every game have the basic plays, so this game of Murderwing, Jar, and Snowball, we have to adapt. That's kind of where I'm at, Rodizio. It's just interesting because that's the way I view card games, but the mentality there is wildly different. Now, from the first-party perspective, like, Wizards of the Coast needs to sell cards, so they don't like staples, because that means that people already have some base for their deck, and they're not just going and buying more cards. So it's bad for them. You could say something like that for Phobies, but the difference with Phobies is that you're always going to be, you know, okay, I open with Snowball, but then I need other stuff, and there are different scenarios. That's my Attractor Rambo combo. Fair. 5 pieces for Exodia. I like to see a phobie that can evolve with time. That would be interesting. Maybe like a phobie that's literally an egg. Like you spawn it as an egg, and if it survives for X amount of turns, it does something. The problem with that is that the problem with the concept in general, and I know we're diverging, but we'll come back to Akune's point as well. If you have something like that and your opponent can protect it, because the idea is that you're getting a tempo loss now for a big payoff later, right? If you do that, and your opponent can just tuck it in a corner, say on a big map, that's probably super imbalanced. I think what it would have to have is like a quest system where, like, if it delivers the killing blow on 2 Phobies, it then becomes something else. Because otherwise, if it's just simply hide it, imagine like exponential decay and just popping it out by your spawn and saying, all right, opponent, come get it. Like, that's just not going to work out. It's going to be really bad. The only way to cancel a Phobie like Snowball is to have a mechanic that before the game we block Phobie that no one can play, but that would create disadvantages, different collections. That's why I don't like the ban system for Fright Night, Rodizio, or part of the reason, but yes, I agree with you. I don't like ban systems in general, but that is a big part of it. And I also don't think that it's necessarily healthy for all the reasons we were talking about, like the jar relationship. Random fun fact for today's stream, jackalopes are the only two colors. King and Mopsy are more normal white bone color, while Flopsy and Cottontail are moldy green. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. So these are like the mold green. This is more bone white. I mean, it's not really bone white, but I see what you're saying. Me and Slimy were speculating on a fusion of 3 Hevos, and I did the first drawing, which kickstarted the idea of Hevo is one slice of a fused Hevo body. So it was you, Sgrunkly. I knew it was somebody. I couldn't remember. Yeah, in that one guy's tournament, everyone banned my Rocket Man and Jar. I just don't... Like, don't get me wrong. If other content creators want to do Phobie bans, that's absolutely fine. And I think it's worth experimenting with. But I think, and this is why I don't like doing challenges, when people are like, oh, well, win a game with only 3 costs or less Phobies, win a game with only dimensionals, win a game with this, win a game with that. Because the game is balanced and built around certain criteria. And yes, you could complete those challenges, and it's for funsies thing. Fine, go ahead. I don't like it competitively because it's going to cause weird stuff, is what it boils down to. Some Phobie have different card art too. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so let's take a look at Hakune's suggestion. So I did a suggestion in the official Discord. The idea was about changing the current win rate calculation. The idea was calculating based on the last 50 games. Like the MVP system, or maybe based on the games played in the current season. The reason is to feel having a statistic alive and showing the current performance of the player. I think it's important to have both, is how I would respond to that. I absolutely agree that your win rate past a certain amount of games is basically meaningless. Because statistically, you are effectively locked into your win rate past a certain period because you just have too many games. And there's not enough time, like real lifetime, like your lifetime sort of thing. You would have to end up playing an enormous amount of Phobies games in order to, you know, actually make a substantial impact. So I do like the idea. I would love more statistics in Phobies. I want to see a map win rate. I would love to see, what I think that would be cool is if you could interact with this and then change it to lifetime, this season, and then like this week or something like that, like something else. I think that would absolutely be really cool. But the problem is I don't know what that's going to require on the back end. So I do like the idea, Akune. And I think that other games, I keep going back to Mythgard, but Mythgard has an enormous amount, and it's a card game, but when we're talking stats, it doesn't matter. Mythgard, StarCraft 2, other modern games have an enormous amount of statistics available to the player. Whether it's win rates against specific players, win rates on certain maps, win rates for certain time intervals, a variety of different things, and it would be awesome if it would be there. Dev said he likes it. That's good. I hope that they can do that. It's just, it's one of those things that I understand from the devs' perspective. It has to be a lot of work. And even if it weren't a lot of work, does anybody really care? I mean, I care, but is it going to make me stop playing Phobies? No. Is it going to make me spend more money on Phobies? Also no. And I think most people fall into that bucket. However, there is something to be said for just all of these quality of life things adding up and adding up and adding up, so that people turn around or start playing and go, wow, there's a lot of stuff. Look at all these cool things. Now, you do run the risk of alienating people when you start talking numbers. This is why StarCraft 2, for example, initially hid your losses. My account has been updated. I don't know what this means. Ah. Season's almost over. I got my coffee for content affiliate. Told you it was there. So, going back to it, the reason StarCraft didn't initially show you your stats is there was a lot of research that basically said people didn't like seeing that they were getting their dick knocked in the dirt. People don't like losing. Shocker, right? So if you're not good at the game, a reminder that you suck at the game is going to make you less likely to queue up. Either through ladder anxiety or you just stop playing the game altogether. Neither of which is beneficial. So, there is a risk when you're talking about showing statistics to people that if your win rate is awful, or like, what if you have a good win rate overall, but recently you've been doing terrible, and now they're showing you the other stuff? It's just not... It's a concern. Should it be a major concern? I don't know. I legitimately don't know, because I'm not of that mentality. I don't care. I want to know if I'm getting my ass kicked. And if I am, it's honestly more motivating. Like, I mean, you've all seen me on Complete Some Quests and watch win rate plummet. Well, yes, exactly, DT. But you've all seen me on streams where I'm doing poorly. I have to get back in there. I have to play. The motivation stems from losing. Like, that is a thing. Now, it may not be appropriate motivation because then I'm throwing games or playing poorly, but it is something that just pushes me to play more games. I know a lot of people out there are not like that. My attitude in response to some of those things is like, oh yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna win, as opposed to other people that may go in the tank. And that's not good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that people have different reactions. And I don't know whether that outweighs things. As I understand it, like, StarCraft 2 brought back the full stats. Most things do show you full stats, but I know for a while there was this big trend psychologically that companies were trying to hide when you get your ass kicked. Cricker, I'm telling you, the bushwhackers. The bushwhackers. Nobody will get the meme, though, because that's from, like, 40 years ago. Like, almost literally. It might be 30 years ago. But anyway, so I mentioned it also earlier that I was debating making Sundays the review night tomorrow, or Sunday this... No, it's next week. Next week is the season end, right? Is it this Sunday or next Sunday? It's next Sunday. So it would be a little difficult to do it that Sunday because so much time gets chewed up and I might not get all 10 in, but we'll see. I'm looking at it just from the perspective, and let me know again, YouTube. Hey, likes and subscribes help. Getting that out there. Come by the live stream. Check all the links in the description, all that kind of crap. But let me know down in the comments how you feel. Like, do you feel the content's slipping? Do you want to see different content? You know, what motivates you to watch the videos? All right, so we're going to do a game review just because I want to see how many we can get through in a single day, because if people, like, if there are 8 40-turn games, I might not be able to do it in one stream, on a Sunday stream, so we'll see. But we're going to take a look at this game. So this dogewhal game, our hero is zoning into the orange trunks here on Xylo. The notes for this is why I don't like Heartbreaker. So dogewhal's been hinting at this particular game breakdown for a while, so we'll have to see what actually shows up in this game. We're starting off, maybe not standard. I actually really like this. I like the Moly Bully, although notably we don't have snowballs going to the center, which is something that I keep forgetting to do on this map. It's something that I want to do. Game reviews all night, no game playing. I mean, that's what might make one of the nights, Atona. I'm not sure if that's better, and that's why I hope people will let me know. dogewhal has like 6 games in the queue, Honda. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. Alright, so in the meantime, we're getting some movement around the map. I don't know about this, our hero's move with Moly Bully to the north, because you can't get around the abyss, like you can't burrow under the abyss. It's infinite. It is, in fact, the infinite abyss. Can Phobie starve? Because if it was a bottomless pit, you would die either from suffocation, dehydration, or starvation. You wouldn't die from hitting something. Well, I guess if you hit the side of the wall, like if you drifted one way or the other. But Phobies are supposed to be figments of the imagination, so they die as far as the game's concerned, but if they fall into a bottomless pit, do they just, like, they're falling forever? Because that would be a horrendous existence, right? Or are they falling until you zone into the next game, and that's what rips them out of their eternal punishment? These are the important thoughts, chat. Anyway, in the meantime, we get Chuck coming in. We get a sheep as the answer to Chuck. I don't know why, but I feel like sheep is a better answer to Chuck than erratic. It really isn't. And if I like it against Chuck, I should like sheep against erratic. So I think my personal disdain for sheep into erratic is just from, like, my own experience that it hasn't been hugely successful. Good Lorcana news? Alright, we'll take a look at that after this game, Atona. I'll have to check and see if the other Discord I'm in was talking about it. Alright, so the sheep, this is an interesting play, getting to the actual game review. Breaking this block. It's kind of random. I get where the sheep is in position, but, like, I don't know. The sheep might even die here. Hey, Taco, what's good? Better queue up again, save your innocent Phobies from the endless fall. Exactly, DT. Do you care about your Phobies or not? See, this is what I was talking about. Like, why? Sheep is just... I don't know. I really want to like sheep. The problem here is, if you buff sheep didn't stink them up, it's true. Like, if you buff sheep and give it more health, it might be problematic, because then it would be super difficult to take down. But it just feels like sheep just dies all the time, and for nothing. Either like this, because it didn't even influence your opponent's board. It didn't even make them retreat. I don't even dogewhal, like, even gave it a thought. It's like, oh yeah, that thing's dead next turn. Keep your stinky for yourself, it's true. Go back to Cult of the Lamb. Alright, so we do, in fact, get a Heartbreaker. 3-range teleport, going to be 2 turns here. About halfway through the game. Instagram not letting you make an account? I'm curious why they chose those 2 platforms, unless they feel like they're not getting a lot of engagement on Twitter. Sheep kind of tanky already. It is DT, but it's... I feel like it might be just one of those Phobies where you can't really change the numbers meaningfully, because if you do, it's broken. But if you leave it as is, it's exceptionally mediocre. That's kind of what it feels like. Which I guess is a fine spot. Like, it's an okay spot. It's not bad. In the meantime, we get a Moly Bully going down. Heartbreaker will be online next turn, I believe. Yep. We had a somewhat premature retreat from dogewhal. I don't know that you need... because the Heartbreaker's not ready yet. Granted, you probably just wanted to get stuff set up, but the Heartbreaker's just going to walk up and toss something into the endless pit. Out of any one place that they could exclude Twitter, which is the one social media account I have. Womp wah. Alright, so we get some... is this Gravedigger dead? It probably is. No, wow, this thing's tankier than I thought. I mean, I guess they had to sink some hits in from the jar into the A-wall. That's true, Akune. That was the before times. So we get a Ray Chargels coming out, I guess, to counter this Hevo. It also is flying, so that's relevant with perspective, or in light of the Heartbreaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Max Phobies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. 5 keys to 7 keys. I have no idea what this Gravedigger was doing. Like, why did this happen? What purpose does breaking this serve? Like, if dogewhal had gone in and recapped the middle, and then you were recapping with the Gravedigger, and then breaking the block, I can understand it, but this just feels like it's throwing away Gravedigger for no purpose. So this Heartbreaker has been online for some time now, and has done, like, nothing. Like, what turn was it online? It is online now on turn 14. So they had turn 15, they didn't do anything. So that was just this turn. They just chose not to use the Heartbreaker. I'm not sure why, because it absolutely could have at least, like, sniped the jar. And even from here, so you would have gotten hit by, like, Chuck once, and that's it. If you have the Heartbreaker, I think you need to be picking things off every turn that it's live. And is Heartbreaker dimensional? It's dimensional, too, so even if they kill it, something's gonna get yoinked. No, I didn't see that, Akune. I'll have to check that out. So we do get the jar yoink. They might not have seen it earlier, but now this is in more danger than it was before, because we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 hits on it, one of which is going to be stimmed. This is the turn. I'll have to check out the shorts. There's a bunch, like, I have a backlog of Miss Cha and other people's content to consume. I'm kind of behind. Alright, so Venus goes down. Is this just a dead Heartbreaker? Like, is this enough damage? This is why the Heartbreaker had to happen the last turn. There was one turn where they could have gotten the jar. And then nothing was in position to punish it.
Damage grows like a blossom.
From here, I just don't see how bad guy wins. When you sink in that many keys into something, you have to get value, and trading Heartbreaker for jar... Not worth. Not worth. I mean, you do get a Jin Sting here. But that Chuck is still live. Panic point advantage for our hero. There's still a Quagmire. There's still a lot of things that are super dangerous for our hero here. Like, that bad guys should be worried about. Should have kept in mind Heartbreaker Squishy and their stim pad. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they're like, oh, well, I missed it last turn. I have to go for it now. But yeah, you absolutely, like, not worth. All of a sudden, it's Hevo against, like, the world. GG. GG. Well played, dogewhal. Honestly, this feels like one of those games where it came down to bad guy just making a mistake, right? It's not necessarily, and I don't want to belittle either our opponent or our hero, but there are some games where it's like, did I do something or did my opponent do something specifically that caused the win or the loss? The tweet is doing numbers. Accepted his fate? Yeah, I think that's the case, dogewhal. GG. Down goes Heartbreaker. You can beat Heartbreaker even on maps with Abyss tiles. It's true. It's true. So let me update the spreadsheet, and then we'll talk some Lorcana, and then we'll take a break, because I need to get some more water. Need to get some more water. The temperature has absolutely cooled off around here, but it's still warm. So, what was the update, Atona? Lorcana news, all 7 of the promo cards from D23 will also be cards in the first set. I figured they would be. They'll probably be alt art. Did they give any information about, like, the game itself? I'm a little surprised. I was talking to my wife about this earlier. For anybody who's not aware, Disney is through Ravensburger, who is a game company that's produced other Disney games, notably the Villainous series, both Marvel Villainous as well as soon-to-be Star Wars Villainous, and previously Disney Villainous, where it's a very unique board game that I actually really recommend. I enjoy it a lot. But they're going to be producing a TCG on behalf of Disney with Disney properties. Right now, they've shown both classic stuff, specifically one of my favorites, Robin Hood, animated Robin Hood, all the way through Lilo and Stitch, Frozen, 101 Dalmatians, a number of others. There's like 7 cards that they're releasing as a promo this weekend at D23, which is apparently a Disney convention. I didn't know about it until this. But they also mentioned that it's going to have organized play. It is easy to learn, lifetime to master, and that it's intended to more, like, the strategic depth is aimed at older players, meaning that it's actually a game, not just, bullshit with Disney slapped on it. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for, Tony, is that I feel like announcing it a year ahead is just a long, long time. I expect that there's going to be previews or, early sale stuff at Gen Con. Hypothetically, August is not fall, but they have to have a presence there, right? There's just no chance. And whatever promos are available there, if I go, 100% got to get hands on that. I want to know what the weird diamondish symbols on the cards are. For the most part, cards seem easy to read, but I have no clue what those are supposed to be for. So have you played Villainous, Atona? Because in that game, you don't directly attack, and there are locations in that game. Like, your character's at one of 4 or 5 spots at a given point in time. The way you attack a player, and I know that there's direct attacking already implied, but like in Lorcana, but in Villainous, you attack a player and then they have a separate deck where they flip over stuff and then bad things happen to them. I don't expect something like that for this, but there could be some unique elements here that are available. DT Living Nightmare giving you the win. You not believe what I just got from Pack? What was that, Taco? Well, Lorcana characters directly challenge other characters, and they have stats for that. But here's the thing. I'm very curious, is challenge a euphemism? Is challenge just another word for fight, battle, attack? Or is challenge like an actual mechanic and there's a wagering system? Or something else where you have to, put up resources to help them fight. Like, it's their base stats plus resources plus cards you play, and then that resolves combat. I'm curious what's implied by the word challenge. I may be reading too much into it. I mean, evasive is sort of elusive, but it's elusive and stealth in this. Well, no, stealth can't be protected against. There's no way to really get around elusive in WoW via combat. Like, they're just unattackable. But evasive has certain things, like evasive beats evasive. So, I don't know. I'm curious. The game seems very interesting, and I could see it just being plain attacks, but evasive is like horsemanship. Wow, that is a deep cut. I know it was in Portal 3, but was it in Portal 1? I feel like it was only in Portal 3. Alright, chat, we're back. So the reason I switched to this scene is because we're going to be talking about something that I've mentioned on many other streams, and I think it bears repeating, hence why I am repeating it, and I feel very strongly about this. United States elections are coming up at the end of this year, and as mentioned previously, although I keep repeating as mentioned previously, it happens. I'm streaming. I tend to repeat myself. The elections are coming up, and it's not just for federal Congress. It's for states. it's for governors, it's for local municipalities, it's for a variety of different things, and I implore everybody out there who is able to vote to ensure that you do research your candidates and make sure you know what they will vote for, what they will do when they represent people. Because right now we have a huge swath of the population that is frothing at the mouth to put verifiable lunatics in charge that are absolutely hell-bent on not just destroying this country, but causing devastation throughout the world. Point is, vote. It does matter, and it matters at the local level as much as it does at the federal level. Don't wait for the big elections, the big deals, those things that feel like, oh, well, this is where it's important. No, all that other stuff is together, because in order for governments across the United States to work, you need control of multiple parts in order to pass legislation, and in order to get things done that actually need to be done. For example, maybe providing clean water to the United States. That seems kind of important. That segues directly into the next piece that I always like to bring up, which is, if you have the means, if you have the ability, please find a charity, donate to it. There's a variety of them that support a huge number of causes. I'm confident that there is one that is out there for you, for lack of a better way to put it. Do something. You don't have to do everything. Nobody can do everything. But everybody can do something, whether that's helping the people that are impacted by the floods in Pakistan, whether it's, as mentioned, the people in the United States who happen to be without clean water in the richest country in the world, whether it happens to be, at-risk kids or LGBTQ people that are being threatened. There's tons of ways that you can help, whether monetarily, with your time, writing to your government officials. Bottom line is, do something. Please. It's important. And vote. Also, Gorilla's text make me think combat is straight up combat. Yeah, I could see that. It's interesting that, they just chose not to use the word attack, and this is another Lorcana thing, but I have to wonder, did Disney, we don't want our characters attacking? You know what I mean? And banish rather than destroying or dying, they just go somewhere else for a while, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because most Disney villains die in horrific ways. Almost all of them die, if not all of them, and a lot of them die in exceptionally painful, gruesome ways. It happens off screen most of the time, but they do. So it's interesting that they would shy away from it. But still, it is what it is. But anyway. So, let's set up another game review chat. You know what? We're going to jump into Arena again. We'll jump into Arena again. I've been playing Rumbleverse offline. I don't know if we're actually going to play any variety tonight. Probably not. I have to get up early tomorrow, so I can't be up too late. It's part of the reason that I might not stream tomorrow. Everyone dies as this Game of Thrones. I mean, have you seen it? Think about, The Little Mermaid. Ursula gets impaled with a galleon. A rough way to go. Scar is literally eaten alive by hyenas. Jafar doesn't die, but he's cursed for all eternity to get locked into a lamp as a genie. So eternally imprisoned, essentially. I'm trying to think of another Disney movie. How does the guy in The Hunchback of Notre Dame go out? I'm 99.9% sure that he dies, but I don't remember how. To be fair, becoming a genie gives Jafar great power. That's the plot of the sequel. Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know if they can punish this. If I do this, it's 5... 8? They should not be able to punish this, but I could be inviting disaster here. Frollo falls off the tower. Okay, so he dies, but not necessarily a horrible way. Oh, look, a wild snowball appeared on the map. True. What other Disney movies did the bad guy die? Just to keep the joke, gotta keep it going. There are several memes that are recurring on the channel. Sgrunkly's usually good for one, or a couple. Onda usually has a few up their sleeve. Luffy always has a bunch of memes. But Chad, I'm legit drawing blanks. I mean, Cruella, I think, dies in the movie in 101 Dalmatians. I don't remember. Just because that was one that was brought up. You're secretly making a meme? I mean, is it for the contest? It's not so secret then. It's also, don't worry, Anda, we'll keep your secret. In the book, Quasimodo beats Frollo to death. I mean, it's not a great way to go. The villain in Tarzan gets strangled by vines. Is that how he dies? I thought he gets, like, thrown off a cliff or something. Does he literally get choked out by vines? I don't doubt you, I just didn't realize that was the case. I don't think I can kill this. Like, I should not be able to kill this. It's close, but I can't quite do it. We're actually going to position it that way, because we can get this however we need to. Wait, I missed some stuff in chat. Still have the one meme I submit from Miss Chaw's community event back then. Pretty good with memes since I spend way too much time on the meme side of the internet. Fair. But also in the original book. I mean, yeah. They probably weren't going to keep that in a Disney version, Atona. Would my sextuple trap trigger be considered a meme? Well, that's what I was thinking earlier, Gune. Like, I don't think memes that are like, oh, this is a cool play, even if it's like an absolutely over-the-top bonkers play, are what's going to win this. Bambi's mom got shot. I mean, but was is the implication here that Bambi's mom is the villain? Is that what we're saying right now? I think a lot of people might take issue with that. Not necessarily saying that someone is me, but just throwing it out there. I don't know that we want this here, because this is kind of vulnerable now. They do have to fight through this, though. I just kind of want to be in the position to punish them if they elect to try and come in on something. Because, like, they kill this with this. They come through here and hit meatball plus this. 448. That's 980. 448, 9. It'll actually just die. But we should be able to punish it, I think. He said, hopefully. Maleficent gets stabbed to death. That's kind of brutal. Yeah, I mean, I can think of nicer ways to go. I'm legit drawing blanks. The Shadow Man gets dragged into a... Yeah, he gets dragged to the other side. Like, I guess technically... Like, he dies. And it's not necessarily that his death is all that gruesome. But I have to imagine that they're not, you know, just playing cards with him down there. It's probably not going to be very fun for him. It's my guess. So I banked here, but I don't know that I needed to or wanted to. Because I kind of need a 1-drop here. One thing I wish they would add is another filter to see what's dead. I kind of wish they would take the dead drops out of this. So that you can't see them. Because, like, what did I lose so far? It was just one drop. Just the cowbell? Doesn't Sean Yu get killed by fireworks? It's a good question. I mean, a bunch of bad guys in that movie get crushed by an avalanche. It's not a way that you want to go either. Who else, like, point is like, bringing it back to Lorcana is that I get the squeaky clean image of Disney, but it's funny that, like, no, a lot of these bad guys just die horrible, horrible deaths, and it's like, okay, I guess they're not going to allow it. I don't know. We can only hit with these two. We're obviously not going to kill it. We're just going to gear this up and then bank. This allows us to get a Hevo 3.0 online if we want it. They could come in and try and kill the Snowball, but they can't. They will absolutely get punished for that if they do it. That sounds mean, Taco. Although I would have guessed that based on the name because that has some other, like, really bad connotations. I don't know, my wife were in stream at the moment, she could talk about all the different Disney things, because she would know it off the top of her head. I don't mind Disney. I used to be much more anti-Disney. I mean, I don't like them from giant conglomerate, effectively monopoly corporation, but I don't mind Disney properties. I just don't care about them that much. Like, I was thinking about this earlier and talking to my wife about it in the context of Lorcana. I don't mind Marvel stuff. I just don't care. I'm kind of over it. Like, it's fine, but I'm not super excited about it. The last one that I saw was Shang-Chi, and I actually really liked that one. It's the first origin story that I've seen in a long time that I actually liked. But other Disney properties, like, I just don't give a damn about Mickey. Like, I just don't care. I like select Disney things, but I'm not one of those weird Disney kids that loves everything Disney. I know there are some people that are just, like, absolutely obsessed, and don't get me wrong, like, I collect toys. By most people's standards, I'm a freaking weirdo, right? I'm streaming on the internet playing Phobies. Like, it's a little weird, right? At least in some people's eyes. I highly doubt we can kill this, but we're going to make an attempt. Okay, we can kill it. Down goes Klepto. Hashtag got him, chat. There's a reason that Mickey is iconic, but he's been so many bad shorts, also hit and miss character. Like, I mean, if people like it, it's fine. If people like it, it's fine. Like, people like different things. Who cares? But, and I don't think anybody's saying, oh, it's bad to like it. But I don't know, I just don't feel the attachment. Like, I feel way more attachment to Looney Tunes. Honestly, like, I like Looney Tunes way more than I do anything Disney, but DC's better. I mean, Marvel and DC are right now targeting different things. Like, look, the DC movies are just not as good as the Marvel ones. I don't think anybody can like, are you seriously making the argument that, I mean, I'm not saying somebody is, but, like, I don't mind the DC movies, but the DC ones are not as good as Marvel movies for a variety of reasons. The DC shows are really good. I haven't even watched any of the Marvel ones, so I can't speak on it. The games are all over the place. The comics, I don't know. I don't really read either of the big two. I read other stuff. I've read a lot more comics as of late, but they have to be properties I already care about, like Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe, that Alien vs. Predator, that sort of thing. The Batman is better than most of the Marvel films. I like the Batman, but I honestly, like, the Marvel films are okay, but you can't, like, that singular movie or any of the Batman movies up against, like, you have to consider the weight that's dragging them down with the rest of them, you know what I mean? What level is my Inoculus? It is level, I just leveled it up recently, level 9. No! I have no idea why it walked forward when I clicked. I basically double-clicked in the same spot. They can still kill this, but if they do, they have to, like, really commit to it. And I don't think they have any interest in doing that, but we're gonna find out today. We gotta find a way to deal with the Hydra. That's gonna be obnoxious. We're gonna bank a little bit. This will let us get some pot shots on things, and if they elect to come in, we're gonna be able to, you know, clobber things. Because we can rotate everything into a position where our opponent's gonna be in real bad shape. Marvel has a few non-mobile games. They have a Lego game. Marvel has a lot, and they do have Marvel Midnight Suns I'm looking forward to. It's like XCOM, but with Marvel characters, specifically Blade, which is a rare thing. Taco, that meme is everywhere. What are you talking about? Like, even I knew about it. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to find that meme. That is not a big effort meme. We're 8, 12. 20. Okay, so I was debating sending in Hevo here, but we can't now. There's also a bunch of Marvel hero games and mobile. I mean, Marvel also, notably, when the Verse 2 PCG came out, the, you know, Verse 2.0, basically, they have the Marvel license, but they do not have the DC license, which is interesting. One thing I feel real weird for is just not liking Star Wars. It's not for everybody. I do like Star Wars. We've had this discussion on stream a lot, actually. Like, I like the new ones arguably more than the old ones, which I know is, like, treason for a number of people. So we need some high damage output. I think we're actually legit gonna go Sparky. They have double, triple mech. I just never liked the designs. I didn't like the clone troopers. I didn't like the robots. Hell, I didn't even like the monsters. If you know me, I love monsters. I don't like the... It's weird. A lot of the Star Wars aliens feel kind of dumb. I don't think you can kill this. So this is bold, because I'm going to wipe everything out. Alright, we might not have enough damage now that they've committed everything. So we have to kill this so that way we can get Sparky to connect with the Hydra. That was the whole point. We also can't leave the jar where it is because the Hevo will be able to kill it. That being said, we're going to splash, like, get an enormous amount of splash here, so... Like, this is a bold move, bad guy. See how it works out for them. We don't have anything that can pop out of spawn. Well, actually, I take that back. 1, 2, oh my god, we can Morty this! Chat, we might Morty here. Real talk, we might Morty. I'm not memeing. Because Morty will be a huge amount of damage going down on this Hevo. What's Morty? You're gonna learn today. No game. For 51.
I feel like there's a spark between us. I wasn't sure if you had it in you to bring down such a formidable foe.
They can beat up Hevo, but I don't know that they can kill it. They might be able to, but it's not necessarily going to happen. And then Sparky's still in range. Like, there's still a lot of bad things that can happen to them. We can't recap any points, unfortunately, but... So no Morty, because the damage... I was hoping we could get both these and Evo, but there was realistically no way to do that. And I couldn't risk leaving the Hydra there, that's the big thing. Oh, I totally forgot Gesundheit was even in the game. Legit forgot. But... an attack not landing on Hevo means it's going to live. They have to sink everything into Hevo or they don't get it. And if they do that, I probably blow them up with everything else. 5,800 health, so even though they have all the panic points, I'm not too worried. Is anyone going to watch Andor? Interesting how it showed me about a landmass. I don't know anything about it. It happens to me too, like Gesundheit can camouflage really well with the obstacle color. I just forgot it was even there. Like, okay, so we lose the Sparky, that's not good, but... honestly, we probably would have been better off with something other than Stairmaster, but... I was hoping that would kill it so we could reposition. We do have to be careful because we're not, like, in a spectacular position as far as art health goes. I mean, I guess we're not terrible anyway. I don't know. So we're taking this spot instead because the jar could rotate to here. They have no keys, I think you're okay. Well, the problem is they could try and dive Heart, but if they do that, I probably just murder everything as it comes in. Like, this thing should be dead. I just don't know if I can kill them and recap the points in an appropriate amount of time. But the thing is, like, if they sent the Jin Sting in, okay, now I AoE your stuff down and you're just dead. Basically, the bottom line is I have to be careful. It's likely I win, but it's possible to throw. Because, like, Gesundheit represents 600 damage. We're at just under 4k. It's a fair amount of damage. So we have to kill these two this turn and then rotate everything else. Oh, Val fixes TF2 yet again. This is value we're talking about. What? I just realized I've faced this guy before. I mean, at this point, I'm basically recognizing a lot of the names because people have pushed to a certain point on the ladder. I don't know if my opponent is trolling me or if they're tilted or what. I can't reach that this turn. Oh, wait, hold on. That doesn't really matter, though. I was thinking I could get, like, put something here, but I can't reach it. Like, I had to sink another attack in. There might have been a way to split up the attacks differently. Yeah, I figured that was a misspell there, Taco. I figured that was a slight typo. Alright, so our opponent is obviously... Okay, maybe they're not. I thought they were going to do that for the rest of their turn, and I'm like, okay, you're just trolling now? GG. I feel like we got him early with the positioning, but maybe we were up on levels there? I'm not sure. Maybe we're up on levels, I don't know. This is only, there's no way to say this without sounding insulting, but it felt like smooth sailing. I don't know. So, Chad, I didn't bring it up earlier, but there's a couple other games that are also on the Variety Night list. Like, I don't know if anybody's looked at Metal Hellsinger or Bullets Per Minute, but they're both rhythm-based first-person shooters with metal music. So basically the way it works is it's a lot like Doom. You're arbitrary character going in and slaughtering demons. And the idea is that if you shoot and kill enemies to the beat, it increases a multiplier, which then increases your damage and it gives you other benefits. Plus, in Metal Hellsinger, the way it works is like you initially get like the underlying beat, then it adds on like extra guitars and stuff, and then it keeps adding instruments until you get to max multiplier where the vocals kick in. It's actually really cool. Like, it's a fun... I think, Atona, you saw this. I posted it in Discord because we were talking about the lead singer. Because one of the songs is, like, the lead singer from System of a Down. The one in the demo is... It's a female singer who's the...
Oh, goody.
I can't think of the name of the band.
Rewards.
It's not Unleash the Archers. Or maybe it is. I don't remember. They say it when you zone in to the demo. But that's coming out next week. Bullets Per Minute is already out. I don't think they have anybody famous. I think it's all their own music. Is there going to be a variety game today? Maybe. Maybe, Onda. They had a Brit from Unleash the Archers.
Lovely.
They have, like, there's a number of them. It's not like one or two. I think there's like 7 or 8, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think it's all, like, it's those singers and musicians, but I think they're unique songs. I don't think they're... It's not like it's playing Chop Suey in the background. You know what I mean? All right, chat. Let's do a game review. Let me check one thing real quick. Okay, those are fine. Got the dogewhal game. See. I don't see any other subscribers on the list at the moment. So we'll just go with the next one. So this is a Menace game. But yeah, I'm excited to play them. I don't know if I'll play them on stream. I am not very good, but they're fun. Alright, Onda, that's fair. Thanks for hanging out. Take it easy. Wait, what? Did you not? Oh, Menace, you gotta favorite these games. This game probably fell off their profile. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm looking at the date. Okay, here we go. So our hero here is Menace 1400 in the orange trunks here on Vile Vortis, which actually rotated out, and I was a little upset about it. I actually like this map. Very close game, and Alistor is still very hard to kill, but I still don't know how I feel about this map, and my calculator came in handy for this one. Alright, sounds like it may have been an async game. We'll see. Did you know the 17th is Batman Day, and there'll be lots of Batman-related stuff happening nationally? In fact, I did not. I was unaware. I mean, I'm not surprised there's a Batman Day. There's a day for, like, freaking everything. But anyway, so as far as this game goes, we have somewhat unique openers. I don't like... So, our hero's going second. I do like Cassowary going second here. But again, going back to the Snowball discussion, primarily I see Snowballs here as the opener, so you send Cassowary to, like, this spot, and then your own Snowball up here, so that way they can't send their Snowball north because they risk it just dying. It puts the fear of God in them. But we do get an Alistor follow-up. Alistor notably flying, so you can, you know, bypass all of this. Plus, Alistor is clearly super tanky. This Alistor is a level 9 Alistor, so it is pretty threatening, 471 damage. We get triple 1-drop also out of our hero, which I kind of like. Just kind of spread out all over the map. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll be watching the 1989 Batman movie because the local theater has a handful of free showings. Probably go with one of the late night ones. That actually sounds really cool. You know, I actually like the 89 Batman. I know a lot of people don't. Okay, so hold on. We got some weird stuff going on. I don't mind this. This isn't awful. I don't know about the Hevo. There goes my Hevo. Maybe not yet. So this is a level 8. This is a level 8. You do beat it up, but you're gonna... I don't know, you're taking at least a hit worth of lava damage. A little bit more. This cluster that's happening up here is weird. Because, like, this cat kills this cat, then this cassowary kills this cassowary, then you kill this stuff, and you're left with Bachelor and Boom. I guess that's okay, but regardless, it's a 4-to-1 panic point advantage, so a lot of pressure from our hero here. Wait, what? I guess to recap the point, this feels like kind of like the game I just played where, I don't know, I think you tank a turn or two of taking 1,000,000 damage and just, that's fine. I think that would have been fine. The Boom here is weird. I don't understand that. I think I would have rather kept Boom alive just for the board. Because this cassowary is now dead. Honestly, bad guy is losing. But they're not in, like, a horrendous position. Because now they kill the cassowary, the cat swings to the top. Like I said, you're still down panic points, you're taking damage, but you've stabilized. You still have a 1-drop, which, yes, it's probably not going to contribute meaningfully to actual fighting, but I still need to do that beginner video. Pay attention to your 1-drops. They matter. So this will be able to back cap, and if it necessitates that our hero has to get their own 1-drop, never mind, the cat just croaks because Jar gets it. So all that goes out the window. The Stabby is also weird. I've seen a number of people try Stabby on this map, and I don't like it. Welcome back, Honda. I also need to change Moobot. It's not Hunt Showdown, it's absolutely Rumbleverse. I uninstalled it and then reinstalled it. Because I got super salty about a bunch of BS, and the connections, which this is going to get me in trouble, but the connections have been better lately. I've won 3 or 4 games offline. And got a bunch of top 5s otherwise. So, like, when the game is not just crapping on me, yeah, I can do pretty well. But anyway, Heroes back to a 4-1 panic point advantage, follows up with Barzilla. Bad guy is banked to 13 for some reason. I don't know what stress level the players are, but we haven't seen a Spider. Spider is really good on this map. There's so much Phobie meme potential running in my head right now. Well, don't give away all your secrets, Onda. What? I guess. But like Barzilla, Hevo, Alistor, Murderwing, and Jar can all lay into this, and I don't think you can punish that. 16. What is bad guy doing? So I do like how Menace does this, moving everything in, and then doing the attacks, instead of, like, having to worry about the animations screwing up if you have to retry things. But yeah, I didn't like that invade at all. Dead Klepto. And, like, what are you going to get out of this? You're not killing this Barzilla. Like, it's just not happening. You can get the Murderwing. Like, okay. Alright, so we do see a Spider. This almost feels like bad guy tilted if this was an arena game, and then, like, halfway realized, wait, I'm kind of still in it. Oh, wait, now I'm not because I threw, and back and forth. If this was an async game, which the notes seem to imply, it might have just been, oh, they forgot about the positioning, or they do what I do, and they're just rushing through trying to get them done as quickly as possible, which I still need to do, because I'm only about halfway through to the next, hitting the gold pack. At this point, our hero's just picking them apart. I don't even know what bad guy can do here. Truthfully, it's just like, I don't know. I do like bad guy's name. So the double move here to cap the point. Still a panic point advantage hero. 35-25. In the year 35-25, Menace is going to clobber the bad guy. Like, look at this. You can collapse on Stabby again. And or Jin Sting. I don't know that you want to double hit with Alistor here. Maybe you need the damage. I don't think you do. But the problem here is Noxious can get a solid spit off. But I don't know that it matters. I mean, you just use the Clinico, but you do have the healing spa available, and it's only 2 Phobies as compared to, like, if it hit 3 or 4. I mentioned it offline, but Noxious has been, or has made my life on this map uncomfortable. Despite the healing spa, simply because you have to sit there and juggle, try to dodge the hit, and even if you ignore the poison, it's also just the AoE can be a super big challenge. Because it can push damage in ways that, you know, you may not be able to handle because you can't truly protect against it. The only way to win is to not fight. Barzilla lumbering back in. Ooh, the Spider's going for it. Spider doesn't care. We're going to see a dead Jin Sting, quite obviously. The only question is, does the Spider die to the poison? We're going to find out in a second anyway, so I'm not going to pause. But if the Spider lives, that's a big deal. Okay, Spider dies. Because it's a big deal because it requires another attack from bad guy. Pterodactyl's going to try and tank it out. Now, really, bad guy has thinned out our hero's forces to a good degree here. But at the end of the day, like, okay, it's a 40% health Barzilla. Actually, these things are pretty healthy. These things are pretty healthy. So this is becoming the close game that it was billed as. So Murder Wing is going to go down. This pterodactyl just refuses to die. Which, I mean, pterodactyl is very difficult to eliminate, but... Is this Alistor dead? It shouldn't be. Because it's only going to hit 3 times. Oh, man, I don't know why I'm so tired. Whew. Oh, Barzilla's actually dead. Whoa, that's a big deal.
Satisfying.
I mean, this Alistor pterodactyl fight is super dumb. Because they're both leeching a bunch of life. Noxious is back online, so this is kind of scary. Because they can snipe the jar plus poison all of this. Well, these two. Really, just this. I guess they're not going to go for it. They're going to take down this Hevo. They have to have the damage, or there's no reason to do this.
That is the mark of a master.
So this is going to force our hero to juggle things. Pterodactyl's finally free of the poison. Almost 900 health left. But here's the thing. This panic point advantage has been maintained this whole time. 1,410 health. Bad guy can reclaim a point here, but they're going to expose some of their phobies in the process. Namely this, but it doesn't matter. That has 1,700 health still. You're going to send the Alistor to the... Okay, yeah. It looks like everybody's going... What? Really? That is weird. I mean, we know that it works out for our hero, but... Wait, what? I guess that was just to leech the life. This must be where the calculator came in to ensure that they're not going to die from the damage here. We'll see how much health Alistor is left at. .200 health. So yeah, the life leech mattered. The life leech absolutely mattered. Well played, Menace. Well played. I can see where the calculator came in. If it was me just guesstimating for in arena games, yeah, that would not have worked. I absolutely would have lost that game. GG. Well played. An Sgrunkly game review. Got a little Grunkly action. Ah, we got a DT game review. Came in yesterday. Didn't see that one. And a Ram. We got some oldie but goodies as far as channel patrons go. So this is against Hakune. I guess it's this. So our hero here is Sgrunkly, although Hakune, a hero in their own right, a regular to the stream, which, by the way, if you want to see some live Phobies action, come by the live stream, RTChompGG over on Twitch. Links for the Discord and the stream and all the fun stuff are in the description. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But Sgrunkly submitted this game in a loss, so shout out to Grunkly because it's important to learn from your losses, and it's always tough to have it put out there like this. And the notes on this are just, would you look at that? So we do, in fact, see a Snowball coming out. We see a Snowball coming out. Shocker, I know. The discussion came up offline for this map that, like, what are the standard things on this map? Well, lobbers, yoinks, Snowball starting out. That's kind of where it goes. But our hero here went Spud and Eternal Night into Leaper Karn. Porqué.
like...
I don't know, chat. Like, what? Kune kicks my dick in for this one, so have fun watching. Alright. I mean, this is... Were you intentionally memeing Sgrunkly? Like, what was... Why? Like, the Leaper card makes absolutely no sense here. What, are you going to turn off? Snowball? The opener is also weird. I'm not trying to beat you up here, but it's just like... I'm not quite sure what the idea was. But we get a plethora of Phobies coming out. Bachelor, Baby, Snaky, Snowball. Choose up all the keys, so only 5 in the bank for our hero Sgrunkly. Hakune, our bad guy here, goes for Gonzo Bonzo, who I think also is another thing I didn't mention. Gonzo Bonzo is super good on this map because you can still push extra damage despite leverage or being limited by all the obstacles. For those wondering, no, I don't really try that hard. Fair, Sgrunkly. Obviously have the players hanging out here in chat. So we get a spider. Get a spider follow-up here. Oh, chat, I got something to tell people after the stream. Just like a real-life thing. That's kind of amusing. So we're getting some takedowns here. Almost halfway through the game. Alligator follow-up. I'm curious if Hakune does this normally, because all of these other things, you know, arbitrary one-drop, the Gonzo, the Hevo, the Snowball, absolutely normal. Moly Bully's a little more abnormal, but I do like Moly Bully, and it makes sense here because of the obstacles. The Gator is weird. There was a conversation that came up offline about Quagmire and Gator being used to isolate high-cost Phobies, such as Blastomatic. And I assume the reason is because you can get the Quagmire like on the Blastomatic, and then it's a snot monster. It's sticky, right? It's going to stay on the Blastomatic and slowly whittle it down, but not really risk death. You know, like obviously your opponent could kill it, but it's going to be challenging. Leprechaun attack is so weird. Do we get a sheep in the meantime? Gravedigger breaking some blocks. I don't know if that's really necessary, but sure. So we're past the halfway mark. Forces arrayed in front of our hero. 4-1 panic point advantage. Bad guy just passes and banks to 11. Absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Chad, that pole didn't help at all. That pole didn't help at all. I wonder if the poll doesn't, like, do people just not like voting in the polls? So, oddly enough, the Leprechaun gets 2 activations that are both relevant. It turned off the Snowball for a little while, and now it's turning off the Gonzo. But we do have a Hevo 3.0 has made its way into the battle. Panic point advantage is still for our blue player. I don't know, dude. Doesn't look good. That is a big, juicy Hevo hit. We're going to see a lot more. I mean, this could have been a lot worse if Gonzo was activated, but... Gonzo repositioning. I thought we were going to get, like, a whole bunch of stuff dying to the fire, but... Not a ton of stuff dying to the fire, only 115 damage. Everyone got the cocktail. Everybody gets a drink at the bar of Hevo 3.0. So, unfortunately, the Spud doesn't die, at least unfortunately for our bad guy, because of the healing spa, order of operations. So we do get a cool play here, because we get the break so that the sheep can get in, which allows this hit on multiple relevant Phobies. Not really going to be enough, though. I mean, let's be real. 11 keys in the bank for our hero. What are you going to pull out here? It's going to be a Gin Sting. This should result in a Dead Gator due to the fire. The problem is the retaliation hit here is going... Oh, the spider dies too. Retaliation hit here is going to be brutal because Hevo can probably kill these two. Everything else kills the sheep. Gonzo is apparently going to kill... Well, Gonzo and Gin Sting are going to kill Gravedigger. I'm assuming the selling point of Hevo's drink is that not many people can endure its spiciness. Is this like going to one of those restaurants where it's like they have some weird food that it's now a contest to try and eat it? That's how Hevo's cocktails work. Yep. Gin Sting and 7 keys against the world. 5-0 panic point advantage. We can all see where this one's going. Mostly because it's turn 20 of 21. That sliver of health. Kune's going out. I think this must have been like Hakune didn't realize how low the heart was necessarily. Otherwise, like, you just pass turn. But GG. GG. And again, shout out to Sgrunkly for submitting a game where you have lost, because it's always tough to put yourself out there like that. Is a cocktail an alcoholic drink? Yes. Typically, it's a mixed drink, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Is that actually true? I'm curious what is more common, like... Yeah, it's typically a mixed drink. I've definitely... But you can have, like... I guess that are, like, pure alcohol cocktails. As compared to, like, mixing it with something. I had to second guess myself for a second, because I'm not a big drinker. As I mentioned before. Alright, chat, we're back. So the thing I was alluding to in the game is... And I talked about this in Discord a little bit. This is... And hopefully people can see it, because with the green screen, it's probably not going to work. But this is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection morphed Shredder. He becomes the Green Ranger. Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So as you can imagine, because of the green screen, he's mostly green. Plus, you know, Green Ranger. It actually is a really cool toy. And what I ended up doing was I got 2 because I wanted to repaint it. And then I realized, after looking stuff up, you can dye the toys with synthetic dye that's typically used for like tie-dye and other clothing stuff. But this is what it looks like now. So I need to redo the torso because it's still kind of green. But it came out with the... When I dyed the... Because the shin guards are gold. But it's like bright gold. It came out this cool like copperish gold. That I don't know if I want to repaint it silver like I was originally planning to, or metal, but it went from green to black, which is really cool because I want to make it look like the IDW Shredder, IDW Orokusaki. Although he's more, it's like a dark gray blue than black, but I'm not getting that ridiculous with it. About the cocktails, yes. The mixed drink part was the only thing because like, in my head, I was like, wait, there are cocktails that are just, like, people just pour vodka in a glass and call it a cocktail. It's like, okay, sure. But Hunt is something I've been thinking about, and I was gonna, when I was struggling with Rumbleverse so much, and we'll see how tonight is, struggling as in, like, not enjoying it, I was debating, like, okay, I'll stop doing Rumbleverse, I'll just go back to Hunt. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Alright, chat. We'll do, like, one more game review. Do one more game review. I added ice, so technically it's a mixed drink. I mean, that's how I usually drink liquor, is just with ice or water. I mean, I can't... Not that drinking's really great if I'm diabetic anyway, but... you know, like, adding extra juice or something like that is not great. I don't mind it, like, when I was still drinking that way, it was fine. Like I said, I likely, like, 99% sure I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. If I do, you'll get the notifications, and if you don't get notifications, you got to hit that bell button here on Twitch. Likes and subscribes on YouTube, the follows and notifications on Twitch. You know the story. Links in the description, all that kind of stuff. So our hero here is in the blue trunks. It's Kratos on Crypto. I've come to really dislike this map. Not just because cryptocurrency is stupid, but because I just don't like this map. So the notes here are close game, I made mistakes, then managed to pull a win. So it sounds like a little back and forth action. Both players are starting off in what seems to be... It actually feels like it's somewhat falling out of fashion. I don't see as many Gravediggers anymore. Or at least not Gravedigger openers. I'm still doing it, which maybe tells you don't do it anymore, but... You don't understand, it's called the vodka-only cocktail? I mean... Yeah. I mean, yes. Why no stream tomorrow? I have some real-life stuff that I gotta do, so depending on how that works out, we may or may not have a stream. Because I have just tomorrow. Like, I'll be back on Sunday, barring catastrophe, but I just have some real-life stuff I gotta take care of, so... We'll play it by ear. I expect, honestly, chat, that there's gonna be some other stuff. I mean, obviously, like, around the holidays, but... I do anticipate there's other weekends this month where I'll probably miss a stream day here or there. We'll play it by ear. Alright, so our hero gets a good pick here, killing the jar. Not sure why bad guy exposed it there, probably just didn't think about it. Just found out some more Power Force figs, and they look sick. Power Force series by Boba Fett toy. Gotcha. There's a Mando one, Stormtrooper one, and Vader one. Nice! I don't actually collect Star Wars toys, but they always look cool. I always think about getting them, but ultimately I haven't. So bad guy gets the revenge kill here on the cassowary. That was expected. Cat's going to go down. Technically, this was even key-wise, but losing Jar on this map is a huge loss. Like, that's a big asset. If they lose this Gravedigger here, that's also a big deal. Okay, so they don't lose the Gravedigger. The reason that's a big deal is breaking these blocks, which now we're seeing both of them. I don't know about that. I think I'd rather have the Gravedigger, like, slide down here and then block this off. But technically, while this is live, or alive, it doesn't matter. Ooh, we get a bold invade here. Meatball is down. But obviously, their Gravedigger is all kinds of beat up. The Mando comes with a little Grogu. Nice. As one would expect. So clearly the focus is on the Jin Sting, which, as it should be. And we get an Innocuous follow-up. Innocuous I've really grown to like on this map, which is not surprising. It's a 3-range Phobie. Honestly, I need to try and push Repeller more. I don't have a Tractor. I would absolutely be using it here, because a Tractor just seems like it would be absolutely bonkers on this map. I think we've covered a number of replays where it absolutely was. So in the meantime, we get a 1 key to max out Phobies for our hero. A Poison Ivy is the follow-up from our bad guy after losing a significant chunk of their forces. And we're going to see the panic points slide back to our hero's side. Any 3-range Phobie? Yep. They're just too good. Honestly, I feel like all the maps... The old maps, the non-full disclosure maps. Obviously, they were designed... Well, we'll go into this after the game a little bit more, but it feels like they were designed without thinking of the full disclosure Phobies. Now, that may seem obvious, but I'm not sure it necessarily is. Point is that they feel much more broken on the old maps than the new ones. Not to say that they aren't there as well, but they feel just way stronger. We're getting a pretty aggressive invade here from our hero. Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief. Okay, I thought the Innocuous was going to get the kill, but calculated. So 6 of the 7 remaining keys go into the Bushwhackers, or Conor McGregor, depending on which reference you understand, and that is Rocket Man. Good old Starro. I just got a Lippy voice line for reaching 40 Phobies. Does that mean every certain amount of Phobie Lippy says something? Possibly. Presumably it's like, you know, every 10 or something like that. Any more than that, like, the amount of voice lines that I have to record would be insane. This is bold. Well, maybe it's not that bold. Honestly, Kratos, I don't know where the mistakes were. Because, like, this just felt like you were mollywopping the bad guy here the whole time. This could be interpreted as a mistake, because it's like, yeah, they probably have a trap there. What? Why would you... Oh, okay. No, what? I guess the assumption here is that the Rocket Man's just gonna die, and I guess here's where all the mistakes are, because everything just croaks. It randomly happens, I think, when I got 79 Phobies and opened my collection, said something interesting. Does Lippy ever not talk? He didn't used to, but now, people wanted Lippy, and they got Lippy. So Rocket Man... Oh, Rocket Man's not going to be able to get out because of the freeze here. Rocket Man is not going to make it. Ooh, this suddenly got super close. I mean, Panic Point Advantage is still in our hero's favor. 1991 on the health. Gonna get a takedown here onto this Murder Wing. Do we get the cat too? No, the spider runs around, I guess, to put a little pressure on the heart. I wonder if this was calculated or not. $15.41. Oh, you're going to get a triple panic point advantage, so you can push a bunch of damage. This is risky, but there's no way for them to kill both, because they can't reposition to get the jar and get the, Henrietta simultaneously. Bad guy's making a valiant effort, but not going to get there. And the ball game goes to our hero, GG. Yeah, for the most part, that was pretty well played. It was just that one turn where it got super dicey. Bad guy almost turned everything on a dime and brought it back around. But that was pretty close. That was, in fact, very, very close. Chat, I'm gonna make a mistake here. I'm gonna make a mistake. And queue up. Because we'll see if we actually play some variety tonight or not. But I want to play some games. Play a game, at least. We played some earlier. And I think they were decent games. Well, the first one was... we just tilted our opponent, I guess. The second one was a decent game. But I still am wondering, did I win simply because of levels? Basically. Alright, so we get a Boomer. Guess what we're gonna say? Wow, Boomer into Bank? That is a bold move, Cotton. So, given that's their opener, we're gonna do this. I would love to go Murder Wing here or something like that, but I would rather cap a bunch of points. And then threaten. So, like, the cat, they're gonna retreat the Boomer here, put up a threat. But we're gonna send the cat in to cap this point and force them to interact. And then we'll follow up with either a spider here or something to, like, maybe a jar in order to fight whatever ends up here. We'll see what... Oh, they're going... What? What is happening right now? Chat, I must admit my confusion. I'm so confused too! So, here's the thing. I am tempted to... you know what, we're just gonna go spider. But there's no shot they leave this thing here, right? If they come in and we yoink it, I don't even know that we can punish it. 546. So we're going to do this here because they have to, like, they can't kill it without risking death. We bank enough keys that hopefully we can threaten something. Maybe we don't bank. I want to get something else online. They could go, like, right here and then barf on this. I have to admit, chat, I did not see the boomer into Barzilla opener happening. Like, what? They obviously get the cat here, right? Actually, they have 2 keys. They may not... They could cassowary. They could cassowary and get it. This is a level 6 Barzilla. It's not a small Barzilla. So we will be able to soften it up, but we're not going to be able to kill it. If we put a different Phobie here, maybe, but probably not. So that we'll say that's 1,000, 1,500, 17, and 5. Now we're just going to soften it up and then go from there. So this does not have leap. Chat, I'm so thrown off, like, I legit don't even know what to do here. So if they move this up, move this here. Yeah, there's no point in moving the Maggie in because the Maggie will die. So we're just going to get a 1-drop prepped. We have to do it from down here. This also lets us threaten the Barzilla, hypothetically. Actually, no, we don't want to do that because they could kill this with a jar and then kill this for freezies. Chat, this is so weird. I wish I met this kind of opponent often. When that happened, I don't know what to do because of the confusion. I mean, it's definitely throwing me off, I'm not gonna lie. Somebody zoned into the game, specifically this person. I assume it's supposed to be pronounced Phoenix. They zoned into the game and said, I'm going Barzilla come hell or high water. Like, there is a Barzilla hitting this board, regardless of how this game goes. And what's funny is, I don't know if I can kill this freaking thing, because it's going to get Clinicoed. You don't go turn 2 Barzilla. Sure, Atona. I don't know. I guess. I mean, they could be going for that. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't send the boomer in. That was a little weird. Can we kill the Ray Chargels? Si, senor, it can be done. So we're going spider because they're either going to kill Maggie and stay here, or they hit Maggie once and retreat. They could heal it. They could try and go on the stem, in which case we yoink it. If they stay in place, we yoink it into range. Well, actually, we don't. Like, there's literally... What are we yoinking it into range of? Nothing. Getting the spider online is valuable in and of itself, but it just doesn't help us in this scenario. Wait, what? Barzillai's a really good phobie to me. Mine is like level 4 or 5 and already have 3k HP and deal more than 500 damage. It's decent, but it is just a big dummy. Like, it just does big dummy stuff. It's a lot of stats. Whereas, if you compare it to other 8 keys, there are a lot of things that can be offered for 8 keys. They don't even kill it with the jar in a single hit, because lol, no fire. They obviously want to retreat the Barzilla. I mean, that's... Would Spider have been better here? Because then we go here, yoink, hit this twice. I expected them to do something like a Clinico, but maybe they're waiting. Interesting. So what we could do is try and trade the Innocuous for Barzilla, because we move the Innocuous up in order to hit the Murder Wing. We gotta figure a bunch of stuff out first. Hold on. Alright, so we do this. How much is this? This is 900 health, so there's no way we're killing it. Never mind. I do kind of want to get Spider online, regardless. It's just too good to not have available to us. So what I was originally thinking is if we could kill the Murder Wing, we kill their Murder Wing, the Innocuous would have to be on the point. The only thing they have available that could then kill the Innocuous is Barzilla on the point, and then we just yoink the Barzilla into oblivion. Leaving the Murder Wing there is bold. I think I can kill both of these. So we Honey Bear, move the Innocuous up, kill both of these. Yeah, they're not going to do that. Because we'd only get a single jar hit, but this kills the Cassowary. I don't know what they're doing now. I was going to say the Crushmore kills the Cassowary, the combination of Jar, Innocuous, and Snowball kill the Murder Wing, and we Honey Bear so that we don't have to worry about damage. Snowball's getting the hell out of Dodge. I don't think you want that there. Oh, they're going to heal it. Never mind. It is, in fact, safe, then. So can their Snowball kill our jar? 533. Yes, it can. Womp wah. Jars in Snowball range? Yeah, exactly. Jar on stim. We would have lost the jar if we did that, because they were threatening the jar. Like, the Murder Wing was available. We could have killed the... Yeah, we could have killed the Murder Wing, but I think this... No, this doesn't get... Oh my god, how low is this cassowary? There's only a level 3 cassowary. I didn't realize that. I was worried about it dying. That was why I didn't do it. I'm debating hitting it. Yeah, I guess this is fine. You here. Because they can't... They should not be able to kill this, right? Can we just kill their thing? No, we can't. We can do this. Our jar will die now. This was an error. I can't undo it fast enough. So the jar dies now. That was an error. Yeah, just hitting him with Crushmore was the correct play. I got greedy because I thought I might be able to kill it. I didn't double check the damage, and then, oops. So we lose the jar for literally no purpose. There was no reason for that to happen. We would have gotten this eventually. And losing the jar is irrelevant. Like, that's a valuable resource. I kind of want to go with my Barzilla for the lulz. That's a heartbreaker. Oh my god. Alright, well, we're going to have to beat our own heartbreaker on this map. Think you can kill their Dermic? I think we can. I'm fairly certain we can. Actually, we might not be able to. Not quite. When they banked to 8 turn 1, I suspected Heartbreaker. I thought it was going to be something like that too, but instead it was Barzilla. It was in fact a Barzilla. I mean, we still have a panic point advantage. The Inoculus is now in range to poke at their heart if they elect to hang out there. We just have to respect the Heartbreaker. 620 damage on the attack, like, whew. Granted, only 1200 health, but we knew that. So I went Pterodactyl because flying, and it gives us more options to try and fend off, like, even if it's just like standing on the abyss tile so they can't teleport it into an abyss. They can still get around it, of course, but they have 5 keys remaining. I mean, this is not a terrible team, what they fielded. I was thinking your Inoculus, kill Murderwing, hit Snowball with the Mount Crushmore once, pull it back, pull Snowball, Miss Moth, and let Snowball die in the lava. Hit Snowball with Mount Crushmore once. Would we have had enough damage? We might have. Because I was thinking about the pull on Snowball, honestly, on it, but then I just... Whatever, we're just doing things. You know the drill. I don't know if that one's going to work out for you, Chief. The Heartbreaker is live. We definitely do this. Dermic is going to be back online soon. I don't know if they can kill this, but I don't really want to risk it. They actually can still get the pterodactyl, I just realized. They could go on the lava and come in through here with the ability, put it here, and then they kill it off with hits from this and this. Hypothetically. 1400? No, they don't have enough damage because none of the fire pits are going to work. You can kill Barzilla? What, on the last turn? Maybe. This was in there. This couldn't reach. We could have pulled the Barzilla onto here. You could break the wall of Crushmore and pull Barzilla into the abyss. Yes, we could have. No, would we have? No, it would have ended up here. We would have had to body block this, right? It would have been still a good play because I don't think they could have punished it, but... Pull Barzilla onto the Crushmore, hit it twice. Yeah, I was considering that. I did think about the break as well, but I forgot about moving Spider in. Truthfully. Oh my god, it's gonna live. How stupid is that?
Taught and retaught is sure as torture. Those that fear you make you stronger.
We're all in, chat. Morty Gaming. You feel alright when we tell you you could or couldn't do having fun thinking? No, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind. That's why I have the backseat gaming thing in there. When I'm streaming, I'm absolutely missing plays. And I think it's better engagement-wise when people can correct me. Like, if I was playing perfectly and just, like, completely zoned in and just not thinking about anything ever, like, interacting with chat, I mean, yes. Could I be playing perfect? Sure. Probably be a pretty boring stream, though. Needed to move that backwards. There was no need to have that there. But it's also, like, it's fun to have chat. Like, I'm not going to be better than all the people watching chat or watching on YouTube. Nice, you win. Yeah, if they did that, we 100% win. They need to come down here with Heartbreaker and yoink something that's damaging their heart, but going after the spider is absolutely not what you want to be doing right now. Like, they're going to kill the Murder Wing here? They needed to send this down and, like, kill the Innocuous. Something like that. Maybe the Pterodactyl would be better. Morty on stem. Yeah, where's Luffy? 1,229 damage, chat. We're doing the memes. The memes are happening. We're also getting our heart broken. What is Heartbreaker supposed to be? Like, is it supposed to be when you get your heart broken, it's like getting thrown in an abyss? Is that what we're looking at here? I'm doing this specifically so that we can try and kill them with Morty.
Fear likes to panic, and panic defeat. Now grind that heart to bits and meat.
Chat. Morty takes it down. Got him. GG. Honestly, I could have thrown that game because, like chat was pointing out, there were a bunch of other plays that could have been made that would have been significantly better. But we went with Morty, so I guess GG. So that's a good enough game to end the Phobies part of the stream on. Soul if someone dies from being their heart broken. I mean, that's an actual medical condition. Like, shit, I can't think of what it's called, but basically broken heart syndrome, where, like, you have your heart broken so bad that it literally stresses your heart. Like, people that have been married for a long time, one of the spouses dies, or there's a sudden death of someone that's married or a family member or something, and then it just stresses your heart so bad that you basically have a heart attack and die. It is a thing. Design could be one of the phobia that means you're afraid of shadows and faces in the shadows. Yeah, it's weird, like, the whole heartbreak thing feels... Like, if this was named the Boogeyman, for example, which, by the way, I'm surprised that's not a phobia, but if it was named the Boogeyman, I could absolutely see all this stuff being the same, other than, obviously, the name. Including beside myself, because you're, like, beside yourself with fear. Now, beside myself makes sense in the context of Heartbreaker also, but, like, it still seems, I don't know, it feels a little different. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But anyway, chat, so we're going to call it for the Phobies part of the stream. We're going to switch over to some variety, but let me know in the comments, YouTube, well, A, likes and subscribes, and of course, links in the description, Discord, Twitch stream, all that fun stuff. But let me know in the comments what kind of content you want to see going forward. Do you feel that the content has gotten better, has gotten worse? Do you want to see different things? Are you no longer interested? How do you feel about Phobies or any of the other discussions that we had? But for now, that's going to do it. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.